Good afternoon. This is Dyke Hendrickson, and this is the podcast, Life Along the Merrimack. We talk about the health and history of the Merrimack River. On occasion, we stray from the river itself, and we talk about other elements of Newburyport, of the physical environment of the North Shore. And so we're hoping to talk about some of those things today. I have planned a guest, and our guest is Molly Ettenborough. Molly, thank you very much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And so Molly is the head of recycling programs here in Newburyport. She's the head of sustainability programs. She's, an expert on the local area on climate change and such things that are coming our way. And so Molly, one of the first things I wanted to ask you is it's spring and a lot of people are starting to work outside. Is the recycling center down on Low Street open now? And maybe you can talk about when it is open and for what reasons. As I understand it, people can take some of their, debris from the lawn there, but they also can take hardware, as it were, to a different section. Let's talk about this. If people have to take stuff to the transfer center, where do they go?
Okay, there's so many different names that you use there. So I'll clear that up first. So we have, Newburyport has the good fortune to have a recycling center, which is located at 23 Colby Farm Lane, which is off of Low Street, you're correct. And at that recycling center, we take anything that can be recycled. So we take anything metal, we take bicycles, we also take styrofoam. So the large block styrofoam that you get for your appliances, etc. We can take, and that actually gets densified and made into hard plastic. We take any kind of electronics. So we say anything with a cord, we will accept. There are fees for TVs, monitors, things like that. And then the smaller items, there are no fees. We take appliances. Most any type of appliance will take old lawnmowers without the gas.
Is there a cost for that, Molly?
The lawnmowers, no, but you have to get the gas and the oil out. We take tires, and we take any kind of curbside recycling material or large bundles of cardboard. So that's the recycling center. And that is open the first Saturday of each month from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then we also
with this. That'll be this weekend.
That's this weekend. Yes, your timing is perfect, as always. So, so we also have some hours during the week, but and it's generally Mondays and Thursdays from 12:15 to 2:15. But that's when our staff is kind of working there and dismantling things. And if there's bad weather, I mean, in the winter, it's often not open. On those really cold, snowy days. So it's best to call if you think you're coming in on those days. During now in the summer, it should be pretty consistent, unless there's a vacation like there was yesterday, then it would not be open. So
And
that's the recycling center.
We don't lawn waste and that type of thing.
Yeah, so that's a little bit further down the road, but just back up on the recycling center, we don't take any trash. And we're not allowed to. We're not a transfer station. A transfer station is something that the DEP has to approve and you have to apply for, and there's a rigorous process to get.
There's one in Georgetown?
There's one in Georgetown and there's one in Newbury, and they're both run by Mellow Disposal. And there you pay a fee, you pay a scale fee to go in and drop things off. So we don't take any construction debris at all, and we don't take any trash. But anything that generally is recyclable, we can take. We also take mattresses there. And let me just point out that November 1st, there's a new law taking place in Massachusetts. No mattresses are allowed in the trash any longer. So in Newburyport, we're fortunate that we've had a mattress program, recycling program for at least 5 years. And that is a company that is out of Lowell, Massachusetts, called UTEC. It's United Teen Equity Program, and they work with youth, some incarcerated youth that, and it teaches them job skills. They dismantle mattresses and they actually sell all the byproducts from those mattresses. So they will pick up at your home once a month. They come to town. We also have a drop-off area at the recycling center. And then we were allowing people to buy stickers, which is more expensive to put them in the trash. But starting in November, that will no longer be possible. Hoping that the mattress manufacturers and sellers will be offering pickup service, because this is going to be quite the burden on the homeowner as well as the city.
But talking about stickers, since I got one just last week,
Okay.
if people want stickers, I understand they have to go online, or they
Okay,
can
so
come down.
there's several different stickers too. So we're still talking about recycling and trash, but I haven't switched into the yard waste discussion yet. And I know you want me to go there, and I won't forget. But so for trash stickers, you can now purchase those online on the city's website. So it's on the homepage under online services, and there'll be a drop-down list of all the different types of stickers that you can purchase, and they will be mailed to you. Or really conveniently, we are now selling them at Shaw's, Market Basket, and Richdale downtown. So you can go right to the customer service desk, and they are $5 each. It's a bargain. And so that is usable for furniture, basically furniture and rugs. No construction debris. If you're tearing apart your bathroom, we are not taking that material. If there's anything metal, that is not accepted at the curb either. All metal should go to the recycling center. So I think that's it on trash and recycling. If I think about, there's another program that's really great, and that is the Black Earth Compost Program. And that's a curbside program, and people can sign up for that at blackearth.com, and they will come to your home and pick up your organic waste. You will also receive a free starter kit that the city is subsidizing.
Is there a cost for that, Molly?
Yes, it's $1.89 a week, so it's about $100 a year.
And what goes in there? Food debris?
Yeah, food debris, but they take everything. So you can put meat, cheese, bones, all those things that you can't put in your yard composter. So we sell the yard composter for $25 for Newburyport residents. You have the drop-off program, or we have a drop-off program, which is 3 locations in the city where you can drop off food waste, and that's free. And then you have the curbside program, which is something you would subscribe to. The city will give you the starter kit, which is the green barrel plus a roll of bags. And then you would pay Black Earth for that convenience of picking up on the curb. They come once a week. It depends on where you live, and they'll tell you which day they will come. But it's really convenient, and you can put everything: fish, lobster, claws, shells, meat, cheese, bones, everything. They even take paper plates, paper napkins. There's a huge list of items that they take.
As recycling goes, is Newburyport a good recycling community? A pal of mine lives in Salisbury, and I'm always, quite startled to see the fact that Coke and beer bottles and whatever just go into the trash. Now, maybe he has a different orientation to life, but he indicated they don't have much of recycling. But I go back to my original question. Is Newburyport a good town when it comes to recycling?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I think we could be better. I think our percentage rate, is about 25%. So we could be better. I think most towns don't get over, 30-35%.
No.
So the marketplace is confusing to people. So sometimes people are like, oh, it doesn't really matter if I recycle because they're just throwing it away. Well, years ago, China stopped accepting our recycled material because it was coming in so dirty, and there was so much, it was really food waste that was embedded in the recycling, and then they were just putting these on shipping containers, sending it over to China to turn into new materials. And they finally just said, we're not going to take your stuff anymore. So that caused complete havoc in the market. And since that time, the US has started a lot more domestic markets here in the US. So now we have more plastics recycling companies, paper recycling companies, etc.
Do we still export, if you will, to China?
Yeah, that has changed. I mean, we're still exporting, and there's still some exporting going to the Far East, but we're keeping a lot more here. The cardboard market right now has never been stronger. So there's actually high value for cardboard. There's also high value for metals, steel and aluminum cans. That's pretty high. So generally, whenever the oil market is up, so is the recycling market. So right now, we all know the oil market, the energy market
Yes.
is very high right now. So any kind of plastics, right now it also affects the metals and the cardboards just because of costs. But the plastic market is doing pretty well. Plastics 1 and 2, which are your like laundry bottles or milk containers, have always been strong plastic recycling materials. It's the 3 through 7, which is kind of, they call it junk plastic. It's the very thin, kind of crinkly plastic that doesn't have as much value. But again, when the oil market is up, that market does pretty well.
Well, I must ask you, will there be a day when these, the plastic bottles will be taken for 5 cents? Because 20 or 30 years ago, they put on 5-cent deposit for, Coke and beer cans, and most of them disappeared on the side of the road,
Right.
as I recollect. But plastic, there's so much in the river, you
Right.
see it on the ocean. Is there a time when we're going to do 5 cents for a plastic water bottle?
Yeah, so there is a big movement in the Massachusetts legislature and with product stewardship groups to try and make that happen. So, it's they've been working on this for many years and it hasn't passed, but I hear rumblings that it actually might pass this time because everybody does see the proliferation of these materials out there in the waterways and the beaches. And, it's people that do go out and collect that material, they can do well by, bringing that material back. I think I'm hopeful that will happen.
This is the podcast Life Along the Merrimack. I am Dyke Hendrickson, the host. I'm talking with Molly Ettenborough. Her office is at City Hall. She supervises recycling and sustainability, among other things. And this is 96.3 FM radio, Joppa radio, local cable channel 9 on television, and we're archived on YouTube. So Molly, one of my great loves in this community is the mulching area down at the recycling center. And this is one of the great deals in town, in my view. The other great deal in town used to be the park and ride right up on Story Ave, but now the park and ride isn't there anymore, so the mulching is still there. Can you talk a little about?
We won't take that away from you, Dyke. I hope it never goes away. We'll make sure. But anyway, so you had asked about that a little bit earlier. So we have a recycling center in Newburyport, and just down from that is our yard waste facility. So those are the proper names: recycling center and yard waste. Everyone calls them the dump or the transfer station, or there's all these names, but those are the correct names. The yard waste facility is actually open 5 days a week, Tuesdays through Saturdays from 7:30 to 2:30, and we take material that we take brush material, which is chipped into wood chips and either used as wood chips in landscaping, or its other potential use is at a wood burning facility to make energy in Maine. The other area is the compostable material, that's leaves and grass. That material gets taken to AgriSource, which is located in Ipswich, Massachusetts. And that material, when they bring it there, is mixed with our biosolids, which comes from our wastewater treatment facility, our sewer system. They bring all of that sludge, all those biosolids from Newburyport to Ipswich with our leaves that all gets mixed in together. And over quite a long period of time, it could be up to a year and a half, that material is treated, aerated, and then it is brought back as free mulch to Newburyport. So that's the free mulch that you're talking about. It is a great service. People love it. We go through a lot of it. We bring in, right now, we're bringing in 1 to 2, 1-ton trucks, or so, 1 to 2 tons per week of that material. And people are just gobbling it up for their gardens. It's great for your yards and your gardens. I would say if you wanted to have an organic garden and you didn't want any chemicals whatsoever, then I would not use that soil, because that soil has had some chemicals added to it way back in the beginning of its life, when they were adding the biosolids and the leaves together. So you can't really call it organic material if you're
Well, I do tell people that, it is a simple thing. It's something that works. And, I go there frequently, and I've never really had to wait. In some areas of some elements of life, we're all waiting. But
Right.
most times that I go up there, there might be a couple cars, but everyone's polite. And so this is a good deal if you're
Yeah,
trying to.
people like it there. And I think, you're outside, it's a great service. I think it flows pretty well as long as people follow the directions on which way the traffic goes. Some people don't look at the signs, but hopefully people are doing that. And one thing that's been a little frustrating for people this year is the stickers. So you have to be a Newburyport resident and you have to purchase a sticker. And because we have to manage this material, it's actually really expensive to run this facility, not just having staff there, but the vendors that we use to haul away all of this material and turn it into recyclable material. It's very expensive. And plus we're also managing the material on a weekly basis, pushing it up, etc. But anyway, so the stickers we always used to sell right there. It was so easy, just drove right in, gave your money and you got your sticker, you put it on your car. Well, things changed with COVID, as everyone knows. We had to come up with new online methods. And plus our auditor had said that they would prefer that we not have cash at a facility like that where there's absolutely no security and people might be by themselves. So we've had to go completely online with those stickers. So again, you purchase those online and they will be mailed to you. But once you purchase it, you can show either on your smartphone or print out a receipt that you did purchase it. So if you purchase it at 9 o'clock, at 9:15, you can still go down there. Just show them that you had just purchased it. And you are able to use it, but it has a lot of.
It is a great situation now. One of the other elements that you're involved in is sustainability. And talking about words with numerous meanings or connotations.
Right.
Talk
Yeah,
a
that's
little
one.
about
That's one.
Sustainability, because I read national stories, I read local stories. And how do you see it here in Newburyport? What are some of the activities that you're involved in terms of sustainability?
Right. So sustainability, you're right, is a big word. And that's why we sort of kept recycling and energy in my title, because sustainability is such a big topic. It's sort of hard to describe. But some of the things, I spend a lot of time working on energy initiatives for the city. We have an amazing group of volunteers for our Energy Advisory Committee. And we meet monthly and we talk about, different strategies. We've done a couple of solarized programs where we went out and vetted we sent out an RFP, we vetted various solar companies and we chose one company so that people that were interested in putting solar on their home only had to think about the financing of it. They didn't have to think, which company am I going to use?
That was very helpful.
We vetted, the company with the pricing, the inverters, like all the parts, everything. So it sort of was all bundled, ready for people to go. They just had to figure out, where on the roof, how big a system, and how they were going to pay for it. So that's one thing we do. We purchase energy. I purchase energy for all municipal buildings. We usually enter into 3-year contracts, and that's a fixed rate. And that's been a very successful program for the city, especially right now with energy prices the way they are. We've also become an aggregated community for residential. So wanting to do the same thing for homes or households, but the pricing that we've received on those contracts have not been, we haven't thought they were that great. So we haven't entered into that because that we want to make sure we're doing right by our residents. I don't know, we have a lot. We work on resiliency. I'm on the resiliency committee as well. And that's really all about making sure that all of our assets in the city are going to be safe, and in particular our water system and our wastewater system. Our transmission is really national grid system down on the Merrimack River. We want to make sure that the city is ready and able to handle storm surge, big storms that come in. What do we need to do to prepare for things that are changing with climate change? We have a whole resiliency plan that's on the city's website that people can read. It's very comprehensive. Yeah.
The one thing that I wonder about, because it is becoming more discussed in New England and nationally, is wind power on the ocean. In other words, having turbines out on the water. We wouldn't do it in the Merrimack River, I'm quite sure.
No,
But
no.
Maine is looking into it. Massachusetts is going to be launching. Rhode Island already has.
Right.
You know, what is that the one part of the future, Molly, that
Yeah.
we're going to have energy generated by wind
Multiple,
off the
right.
ocean?
Yeah. So I always say to people, it's sort of like, you know, if you have stock, you want a diversified portfolio. So we want to have all these different things, you know, wind and solar. Geothermal is popular, but it's very expensive. You know, and still for a time, we're going to be using natural gas. And it doesn't, you know, I don't think continue with coal or oil makes a lot of sense. Maybe oil in some senses, but we really don't need to use coal anymore. But natural gas, we're gonna need that for some time. It's just, you know, the infrastructure of the energy market is very, very complicated, and we just can't turn off the switch. But one thing that we did a few years ago was we did a greenhouse gas inventory, and we were surprised when we did that, you know, 1/3 of the greenhouse gases in Newburyport came from homes being electrified. Another third of it came from homes being heated, so thermal. And then the other third, this is the surprising part, came from transportation. So
Really?
that is an area that we're really trying to work on. So we just did a fleet assessment of all the city's vehicles, all, you know, DPS, police, fire, etc., and how we can electrify these fleets and when we can. And I mean, everything, the marketplace has to catch up. But as you may know, we have a police vehicle that is now all electric. It's a Tesla. And so that's sort of a pilot program. But transportation is an area that whole marketplace right now is really burgeoning, and you see more and more every day. So that to me is something that people can do right away. You can either purchase a hybrid or, you know, walk or ride your bike, or, you know, transportation. Just if we could look at that differently in Newburyport, I think that would be a really great thing, because we're a small community and people can certainly get around with that, having to drive their car everywhere. But it's really about convenience, and people, you know, are so used to being able to do that. But if we could have a trolley or something going through.
Well, they had a trolley about.
Yes, they did. They did.
Yeah.
So bring it back. And like you were saying, Dyke, you know, the park and ride was the greatest thing, and now it's gone. But I mean, they're even talking about with the commuter rail, electrifying the commuter rail instead of the diesel engines. So that would be another great thing. So transportation is something I think is pretty immediate. The city has about 60% of its electrical load, the municipal load, is covered by renewables. We would obviously love to be 100%. And then let me just tell you about two other goals that we have. So by 2050, we want to be net zero carbon. So that means getting away from fossil fuels. And then on the waste side, a similar thing, we want to be 80 to 90% zero waste.
How about
those are sort of our big goals that we are striving for. Pardon me?
How about the old wood stove, which, you know, obviously centuries of New England, we've had wood stove. You know, people up in northern climes in Maine, I know, are, you know, they really count on heat from wood stoves. Well, how do wood stoves do in terms of putting emissions into the air? Are you
they do, certainly.
About that?
I think that certainly, yeah, it does certainly add emissions to the air, but I think it depends on where you are. I mean, in Newburyport, if everyone was burning wood, that would be a problem. But if you're, you know, up in Maine, as you're saying, I think, you know, if everyone's doing it, then it becomes a problem. But if it's sort of sporadic, it's not as big of a deal. But it is very efficient. It's very efficient.
Yeah. One of the disconcerting things about, you were saying, the vehicles, sometimes the regional bus is always, you know, parking near the library. And since I always go to the library, I see it frequently. And the fellow, he keeps the bus on. He goes out to get coffee or he does something, but the bus is running for 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm thinking in my own small mind, now this is something that would be pretty simple to turn off the vehicle, you know, if you're going to leave it for a little while. But here it is chugging along. And I notice in New York City now they have, you know, they give an award to people who call into the city office.
That's an interesting idea.
There's a bus or a truck idling in front of my house. And if the cop gets out there, you know, the caller who dropped the dime gets like $90.
Wow, so, that's an incentive. We
if you
do,
get a
we,
$90 plan, email
right,
me.
right, right. I mean, we do have idle-free zones in Newburyport around the schools. And we do get calls from people saying, you know, oh, why is this doing this? And the bus, I'm not sure if that's if that was a natural gas bus or if it was
Uh-huh.
you know, what type of bus that was. But they tell us, we've spoken to them, and they do tell us that they're looking to electrify their fleet, and that Newburyport would certainly be one that would they would send an electric bus to. So again, that marketplace, that industry is rapidly evolving to
Mhm.
electric. So that's good news. But yeah, in the meantime, there's all these little things that can be done.
Well,
Small
there's a lot
steps.
of moving parts involved in your office, Molly. This
Yeah.
is Dyke Hendrickson. The podcast is Life Along the Merrimack. I'm talking with, and we're 96.3 FM Joppa Radio, Channel 9 television, cable, and of course, we're YouTube. I mean, we're archived on YouTube. So Molly, we're just about out of time. I wonder if you can repeat to folks where the recycling station is and just go over the two different elements, at least two parts there, if you can tell them
Sure.
what they can do when they get there.
Okay, so we have a recycling center and a yard waste facility, both located on Colby Farm Lane. It's number
Which is off
23.
of prestigious Low Street, by the way.
Yes, off of prestigious Low Street, exactly right. Right at the intersection with North Atkinson Street. The yard waste facility is open 5 days a week from 7:30 to 2:30. You purchase your sticker online. The recycling center is open the first Saturday, and then it has 4 hours during the week on Mondays and Thursdays from 12 to 2. And if you need trash stickers, you purchase those online now as well. Everything went online during COVID, and we're still going that way. It seems to be very convenient for everybody. So those
That's good.
places are available and open to people as needed.
And as I say, one of the great advantages, if you're a gardener and you need mulch, you can go there, just take your own cans. They actually have their own shovels, by the way, and you
Yes.
can get free mulch, and the people are nice. It's quite convenient. And, this is something that we're
People like
among
to,
many things
Dyke,
that
some people like to hang out there. I don't know if you're one of those people, but
Well, thank you very much. I've been talking to Molly Ettenborough, who is with the city services. She runs the sustainability and recycling opportunities here in Newburyport. And Molly, thank you very much for being here.
thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
And next time, we'll see you next time at about 2 o'clock on Life Along the Merrimack. Thank you very much.